Welcome back to Pet Greens Thrive Inside. I'm Katherine Hoffman, co-founder of Pet Greens. We produce live organic cat grass, live catnip, and all natural treats to support your pet's indoor wellness.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sally Williams. I'm your co-host, and I am the founder and president of Mission Meow, a national organization that raises money and gives large grants to small feline-centric nonprofits all across the U.S.
There's so much information out there about cat care, and it can sometimes feel overwhelming, as we all know. We're hosting these Thrive Inside podcasts to help you and your indoor cats live your best lives together.
So today we're talking to somebody who I know well. I'd like to introduce you to Kristin Wuhrman, who is the founder and chief experience officer at Cats Only Veterinary Services. She's a certified cat behavior consultant and animal health entrepreneur, and she serves as vice chair for the Catalyst Council, as well as many advisory roles and boards, including Mission Meow. So Kristin, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you both, Catherine and Sally. I'm super pumped to be here. It's exciting to see conversations like this happening because the more we normalize talking about feline health and wellness, the more progress we can make really for cats everywhere. So excited to be here today.
Thank you so much. So I think before we go into everything, we should take a minute because I mentioned that I'm the founder and president of Mission Meow, and we said that you are a board member of this nonprofit. And once we get into this and people start to see how many things you're involved in and the boards that it blows my mind. And I wonder, and I think people would wonder, why was it important for you to find the time? Like, what was it about Mission Meow that made you want to get involved?
Well, it was a very easy yes and actually a please, because what we're doing is extremely foundational at Mission Meow. Supporting all the small feline-centric nonprofits that hold up the entire rescue ecosystem. And these groups are doing incredibly hard, ground level hands-on work every day, and often very limited in resources. So I have been on that ground level. I've done tons of intake and rescue work, and it's extremely hard and extremely rewarding. And I can say those that are doing it have the biggest hearts and are some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life. So the people in rescue truly are those that are giving cats this second chance at finding their forever homes. And we are seeing the growth in cat adoptions. So for me, it really means supporting the root of feline welfare, the people, the programs that make everything else happen for cat health. So this impact starts ground level and it really strengthens the entire system. So it's a true honor to be part of the Mission Meow board.
We're going to actually see each other soon. We are going to be partaking in a grant check ceremony where we give keys to a transport van.
Yes, cannot wait for that.
The big one.
Gosh, so exciting. So thank you for everything you do for Mission Meow, and thank you for everything that you do. And we're going to get into the meat of everything now and why we have you here today.
Awesome.
So, Kristin, you've seen pet health from both the professional and personal side. Was there a particular experience that made you want to dedicate yourself to focusing on innovation in feline care?
Yes, I'd say overlapping moments. So I'll start by saying it was a pretty simple truth that cats have been underserved for way too long. And, I always start by saying I'm cat mom first. And cats have been part of my life since I was a kid, from, rescuing them out of barns, having them as pets in the home, and then through my adult life in college, having large feline families. So I've, that personal connection has always run alongside my professional work. I also went to school I grew up wanting to be a feline veterinarian. And I did not pursue that. I pursued a business route, but to this day, I'm, honored having spent 2 decades in animal health working alongside too many veterinarians and vet professionals to mention. But really, it was kind of a dual journey for me. And I can start with more of the professional side of it. So in the first part of my career, I had, worked with a lot of different companies, Trupanion, Vet Street, Zoetis, Siva, great companies. But early up, I saw the gaps up close in just kind of feline being second to canine. And the systems, the products, and even conversations in broader animal health were often built around the dog first.
Mhm.
So the truth really being that this feline species hasn't been fully understood for a really, really long time. And so we're starting to see these innovations. And as I went through my career, really seeing them emerge through data and AI and genetics and behavior science, and starting to apply them to the feline species that helped us understand them on their own terms. So the second half of my career, I was really excited to focus on closing that gap. And so innovation became a really fascinating area to be a part of. And how could I help push those boundaries for feline innovation through lots of companies doing great work? And some to mention that I work closely with are Sylvester AI, through Magi, myRNA, and a handful more that are really changing like how we actually understand the feline species and care for cats. And so these types of innovations are being utilized more and more by the cat parent, and making them more, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but more educated and aware of their cat. So that's helping kind of drive this gap for feline innovation, which really brings me to my current project or journey, I should say, with Cats Only Veterinary Services, where we're taking like all these different experiences and what we understand of the cat being I hate to say second to dog, but it truly has been, and helping build a care model designed especially for cats, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a little bit here. But, with my own cats growing up, what I learned the most, and I had it the most with 6 cats, is just their needs through different life stages. And I'm going to highlight a few of those right now because it really taught me a lot about these gaps. So through the kitten and adolescent stage, we know that they need a lot of socialization and play structure and, positive vet experiences to build trust. And as they enter the adulthood, it's like stability and routines. And we're looking at like healthy body weight and dental care and stress management, and starting to understand some of their baseline behaviors in the home. And then at the mature cat, which is a very underserved stage, and we see that in the data as far as like lack of vet visit compliance and visits. This is where like early screening is critical, such as cardiac and renal and thyroid, and really understanding how these really tiny or subtle behavior changes are often like the biggest clues. And then moving into senior care moves, we're starting to look at like comorbidities and health conditions starting to overlap, and understanding how to like balance those and work really close with your vet team on collaborating. And then, moving into end of life, which is really about comfort first and clear communication. And so going through that with all my cats, like I learned a lot on how I needed to self-educate, and I needed to spend time really understanding my cat, specifically because, navigating through their journeys is not a one size fits all or a one and done medicine. Like it took a lot of teamwork, a lot of communication, and really honoring each cat as an individual. I recently lost my cat Lexi at age 20 last year, who she went through that. She had 3 comorbidities, and managing her care really meant balancing a lot of priorities, and a lot of engagement with multiple care team members. So throughout my, my life and throughout my cat's lives, like learning that it took a lot of work to really understand how to collaborate with our vet team on where each cat was in their health status and journey through the life stages. And, that just gave me more motivation and excitement on how much opportunity there is in the broader veterinary industry with it, where we need innovation. We need to understand like the feline species as its own species, and start crafting this lane, or that's probably the wrong word, but crafting this opportunity for species specific medicine.
So interesting. So
Your
interesting.
kitties are so lucky. So lucky for her curiosity, and it's because it's really such an honor to, especially in a case of having a kitty in your life for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
It really is.
Times that by 6, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't really,
you learn a lot. Yeah.
You learn a lot. Yeah. And sometimes you have to make a decision, like, is this the right approach, or right decision for her, given her other things? Like, is that bringing quality of life? Because we can treat everything, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have the best outcome for your cat. So it's kind of an emotional decision too, trying to and really think about it from the cat perspective and from your cat versus, you know.
And there are challenges when you're somebody like you who knows so much, right? Because I know, having been involved in the pet cancer world for so long, I know so much, but that doesn't mean, I mean, all my cats have been treated differently. Because yes, they are multiple, I've dealt with cancer multiple times, but each cat, you had to focus on them, their personality, what it'd be like for them going to all these things. And so all the comorbidities and aging, it's such a different experience with each one, but knowing a lot can sometimes make the struggle even harder.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think to answer that question, like, you know, kind of summarizing is they are their own species, and they're own individual within their species, and applying that to innovation in the broader, you know, feline health space. Like, there's a lot of work to be done, but there's a lot of great things happening right now. And I really try to be part as much as I can and help those companies navigate that, because we got to figure out how to bridge the gap between the kind of the pet in-home and the medical side of it. And I think when we can bridge that, and it's starting to bridge right now, we will see more individualized care for these cats and understanding the cat is their own species. So.
Well, you kind of teased a little bit. So first, I want to say congratulations on your new project, which for those of you who don't know is Cats Only Veterinary Services. And this feels like a huge step forward in feline health. So could you tell us a little bit what the mission is at its core, and how do you think it will reshape the experience for both cats and those that care for their kitties?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. This has been a very exciting project. And, you know, it's a result of seeing the same thing decade after decade, meaning cats are not getting care. And depending on what data you look at, it's anywhere from 30 to 50% of cats don't seek medical care annually. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of barriers. One of them specifically is stress of the visit and the experience itself. And obviously there's other factors like cost and value prop and things like that. But, you know, to paint the picture, historically, the veterinary system evolved in a mixed animal setting, and it was optimized for dogs, and that's just how it was. And so we try to adapt everything for cats, and there's fantastic programs out there to help hospitals become more cat friendly and, you know, understand feline handling and great tools. However, building that into existing hospital operations and workflows is not as easy as you think, because they're so established. So essentially what we are doing is we are creating an entire new care system and experience for cats and their caregivers as a team. So our customer is 3, the cat, the caregiver, and the bond, so that they experience their care completely different. So this has to do with our facility design, all designed around the species needs, behaviors, and instincts, our handling, how we select products, etc. Because cats experience the world very differently. Their sensory needs, communication style, protective emotions, all these things mean they don't respond well to environments that aren't designed for them. And so that makes it more challenging in the exam room. It makes it more challenging to do a good exam. You know, some of the things we're doing are not as accurate because they have a high stress rate. And so that makes also a very stressful experience for the caregiver, because today's caregivers are so emotionally connected and bonded with their cats that they feel what their cats feel. And so that is, you know, a more stressful experience.
And then they might not take them then because they don't want to experience.
And there's nothing.
It's like a cycle too, right? So we're feeling what our cats are feeling, which is stressing us out, and our stress is now stressing our cats out, which is then stressing, like this vicious cycle.
Exactly.
I mean, I can speak to there's a vet hospital near me that I love. We are so fortunate to have them. It's a referral hospital that has everything you could imagine. But it was, to me, a bit of a disappointment going in there when they had this full opportunity to build it out. And the cat waiting room is, you walk in and it's this kind of cordoned off area with up against a window at looking outside, and then two walls, and then it's open over the top. So when the dogs bark, it bounces. It's like you still have to check in the same space. So I'm still bringing the carrier in, surrounded by barking dogs, and then I'm walking over to a section that still sounds and feels scary to my cat. And then I get into an exam room where it's still the same exam room that they had been before, with not much thought on how to have it be cat friendly. Now the vets do a good job of adapting it once we're in the room by lowering the table and doing everything they can, but also the walls are very thin and the dogs are barking next door. And so even when hospitals are rebuilt, I just feel like it's still not with the cats as a priority.
Exactly.
And so all these things are what makes me so excited, knowing that somebody out there, I mean, not just you, but your team are taking all these things into consideration that will put a parent like me at such ease, knowing that, okay, I can control what I need to do on my end, right, to set them up for success on the way there, but to know that I'm going to arrive at a place that then
understands. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Can I ask you what a room might look like?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a very unique journey. So we will have a welcome area, which will really be more for the caregiver, because our our process will be car to exam room, because we're trying to minimize as much movement as possible and minimize as many people as possible. And so our exam rooms will be larger than the average exam room. They will be designed to meet the needs of all the feline senses. So we will have muted sounds or even cat music, dimming lights, softer color palette, smells, no smells. There will be enrichment within the room, so cats may explore if they would like. We will do exams anywhere in the room. So whether they're in their carrier, on the floor, or on a shelf, we want the cats to acclimate and try to make that more of their, become.
you meet them where they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want
like a spa room for us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You
So
walk
it'll
in,
feel more like a living room, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And we want, everything will be done in the room. So including diagnostics. So if the caregiver is not comfortable with seeing a blood draw, then they may step out into our welcome area. So the cat stays in one area the entire time. So we're trying to create this experience where the cat becomes, a predator again and not prey, so that their stress is minimized. There's a model called stressor stacking that you can look up, and we're trying to keep the stressor stacking as flat as possible, starting from the home visit to the exam room and back.
I mean, I can speak to it, and I know that one of the things for me, when the tech comes in and says, okay, we're going to take your cat in the back and do the blood draw, I'm immediately not happy about that. I know my cat's not. So I've become a strong enough and opinionated enough and a firm enough pet parent where I say, no, I would like that done in the room. Yeah. And sometimes a new tech will come in because they might not feel as comfortable doing it in front of the pet parent. But you can say that for now, so all these things are always done in front of me because I know my cats are more calm when I am with them.
That's exactly it. And there's even studies to show that. I mean, cats that stay with their caregivers are less stressful, more calm, and easier to be gently handled, to be able to take diagnostics and things like that. So, and this whole cooperative care thing is real. So, so we're trying to do it very different. And really what we're doing is we're designing the entire experience, the environment, everything through the lens of the cat. And so that is really our foundation. And so we're trying to, provide the best natural experience we can for a cat that's not in their home environment.
But I know there's probably some more information out there, because there is that a group of emergency hospitals where you can actually sleep there.
Yeah.
you can sleep in the room if your cat has to be admitted. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure you're getting good information about things like that with stress levels coming way down.
Absolutely. Yes. And more and more time is going into understanding this. So I think that's a positive thing. So
So
yeah, it's super exciting. Yeah, we're pretty pumped. So we're starting in the Denver area. That's our first market, and we will build a few hospitals there.
I know I'm wooing you out to the New York metro area, please.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so we plan to go market by market and scale it. We want one connected network where all of our hospital teams communicate with each other as one kind of big family. That's what we want to do different, because with feline medicine, there's a lot to learn. And when
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
experts in dentistry or, cardiology, we want to be able to share that with other hospitals in our network. So we have big goals to do this, and we're already started Denver. We plan to launch hopefully end of next year.
That's so
We're
exciting.
on our way. So
I guess I'm moving to Denver.
yeah. Yeah.
I love the idea of the hospitals communicating amongst each other too, because
Yep.
I mean, I know that will change things, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard, oh, that's not common, or we don't hear that in cats. And
Right.
so yes, this may not be in the sense of studies or things like that, but just communication amongst the hospitals. That's
Absolutely.
changing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we really see a future where species-specific care is the norm, kind of like children see pediatricians. So dogs go to dog hospitals, cats go to cat hospitals. I mean, that's really what we're
Doesn't
hoping
it just make
to
sense? I mean,
Makes
seriously,
sense.
you just say that, it just makes sense.
Yep. Exactly. So,
well, we are so excited. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that would lead into also, I think that this plays into that a little bit. So we're seeing that cat parents are becoming increasingly more educated, more knowledgeable, and more proactive about wellness and enrichment. Do you think that this growing awareness is creating positive changes for cat parents, for guardians?
100%. Like, it is the change. It is what's going to push innovation forward, because it's probably one of the most exciting shifts we've seen, because cat parents today, to your point, Sally, are like way more informed, more emotionally connected, and more proactive than ever. Like, they literally understand their cat really well. And with Catalyst Council, another board that I am on, our data is showing, along with some other data sources, that these younger generations, especially millennial and Gen Z, they're redefining what it means to be a cat parent. So they're curious, they're, digitally savvy, they're willing to invest in their cat's well-being. I mean, we're seeing spend in like enrichment go up, which is great.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Just that change in language too. It's you hear ownership less.
Yes.
You hear parent and guardian, and just that subtle change in itself, to me, is a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. A recent data point that we just shared with Catalyst is 77% of Gen Z say they'd spend any amount to keep their cat healthy. So I think this kind of commitment, all of these pieces, are really what's going to transform the landscape.
You see, that's something that in an adoption form is a question that's asked in the adoption form. How much would you spend? And I was reading in a different study that the more common answer now is anything.
Yeah, it's remarkable. So I think
but what's interesting, because in the data that we did about cat grass, only 15% of cat owners know about cat grass. So there's so many people that still need, like you said, education on what makes a cat happy indoors.
Right. Yeah, the cat grass is fantastic. My cats absolutely love it. They are indoor cats, of course, and it is part of their enrichment routine. But yeah, I think there's huge opportunity for just
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And even the stores that you go into, there's a little cat area and the rest is dogs. So hopefully that will expand.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like this. I always laugh. I see you walk in, one whole side of a store is dogs.
Yeah.
The other side you'll see like small and furries and then reptiles, and then there's cats in the back. And I'm like, wait, we're in over 50% of the households across the US. You're missing here.
There's a lot. I do think this is the start of this like new era of collaboration.
A movement.
It is driven from the cat parent. But where we see like cat parents, veterinary professionals, and brands, like those three kind of working together, I think when we can empower the cat parent with the knowledge and the tools, it won't just improve their wellness, but it will strengthen that bond. And I think that's going to drive forward feline health.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered, and I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if you do. I wonder why this is happening now. Is it that we have an internet that's now we can, look for these things more? We can chat GBT and ask. It just seems like, why now? Why all of a sudden are we just, cats are, I mean, they're in commercials more than they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
The guardians, the cat parents just are like soaking this all in, but I would just wonder why now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think a huge part of that is today's cat parents have different relationships with their cats. I don't know if it's the generational change, but the relationships change. Their children, they travel with them.
Yeah.
And so they're.
Well, maybe because like when I grew up, cats were just indoor, outdoor, and they used to just come in when they wanted and they leave when they wanted. And I think, people realize it's not safe for cats, so they're bringing them indoors, and maybe they're getting to know them better. It's just a thought.
Exactly.
Maybe they're spending more time with them. They're watching them, what they need.
Exactly.
Like, is my cat happy or not happy? So maybe that's the change.
Absolutely. And,
Went from the cats are easy, right? That was a thing that made me crazy. Two things.
Yeah.
Cats are easy, so you can just go away or travel. Not true. And they're far more interesting than that. And cats are also not just like little dogs. So
those have to be.
Well, whatever the reason is, we're so happy and thrilled as people that have had cats in our lives for, our entire lives. It's whether, whatever it is that's driving this change.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what's coming.
Likewise.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of environments, if someone wants to do more for their indoor cat's health and wellness, where should they start?
Great question. So it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, best place to start is simple with consistent enrichment. And you got to think of enrichment as both physical and emotional, because the emotional well-being of cats is as equally important as physical, because, they're dual species. So they are predator and prey, and they have needs for their instincts. So it's little things like small changes to make sure they have places to climb, to hide, to scratch, to play. Those make a huge difference in every environment. I like to recommend it daily or multiple times a day, short, frequent play sessions to interact with your cat, puzzle feeders for stimulation and hunting instinct. And really these predictable routines are critical because they all reduce stress and support overall well-being. So getting into a rhythm with your cat and finding out what they like and keeping that as a predictable routine. And with cats, we know because of their dual species, when their environment feels safe and engaging, we'll see them eat better, rest better, interact better, and even have better digestion. Bringing the outside in, such as the pet grass, is fantastic because they do have those needs. But, I would also like to stress just observe, because observation equals behavior equals data. I always like to say those three together, because when you start noticing, when you create these routines and these, enrichment needs and being a part of your cat's day-to-day, like you'll notice the really itty-bitty subtle changes. We know cats hide pain and discomfort, but you'll start noticing little things from their daily behavior. And it could be like they play more, they play less, their behavior is calmer or not, or their appetite is improving or decreasing, or little things. That will really help you be more aware to spot early things with your cat and have a conversation with your cat's veterinarian.
Well, that transitions perfectly to what I was going to ask you, which is cats are known for hiding illness, which can make it so hard on, us as their guardians and wanting the best for them. I'm quite familiar with two companies that you are working with, as they also are part of Mission Meow, Sylvester AI and Maggie. So maybe could you speak to a little bit about these types of tools now and how they can make a difference for cat parents?
Yes. So part of the innovation that's happening that is extremely exciting not only because of the tools, but that it's driving awareness on about the feline species. But cats are, to your point, Sally, are incredible at masking discomfort. It's really part of their survival instinct. They're supposed to do that. And illness typically starts with the tiniest behavior change, how they move, how they groom, how they eat, how they rest. And so being able to have technology that helps cat parents understand that and see it through the cat's very subtle behavior is what I'm getting excited about. And that's why I'm so passionate about these technologies that are helping us see the unseen. So Sylvester AI combines AI with veterinary science to assess pain in cats all through facial expressions. So it's taking
Incredible.
Yeah. So it's a fantastic tool to just understand really the well-being of your cat in their current state, detecting pain, etc. Moggy is a activity tracker. It's quite small and it tracks daily activity through movement, sleep, grooming, play. What's great about Moggy is you'll develop a baseline of your cat, which is normal, and then it captures numerous data points through a day, and you'll see the trends of change. So you'll know, like, okay, I didn't know my cat was jumping less, but it is, and try to understand what that means. So these are tools that really
like ordering for cats.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So I think they're fantastic tools, and they're growing in their user base, and we're learning a lot, and it's really helping cat parents see things sooner and engage with their vet team sooner. And it's all about earlier detection. So very excited about these tools. We're seeing an increase in like smart litter boxes and smart feeders. So when you start combining these tools, you get a full picture. But it does come back to observation too. Yeah.
Because honestly, I think that's one of the things we fear the most, and we feel like we're missing. And not everybody is aware of the subtle signs, right? Like just how much your cat's eyes will tell you, their ears will tell you, posture will tell you. Not everybody, is as educated about that. And so having tools like these, and I've been fortunate enough to learn more about them. It's so exciting because there's a little relief in that there's help out there to help you, be more aware of the potential.
Yeah.
At home, right? At home.
Yeah. Because the home care is as important as the vet care, because only you or we as cat parents see our cat in their normal
Exactly. Vets don't see what we see. So that's what's so important, the daily, like you talked about. So having a daily enrichment routine. And when you notice a difference in that routine, now you can share that with your vet, because once you get them to the vet's office, it's hard for a vet to see. They may not see how they jump or, how they may be expressing themselves, because that all changes at the vet office. Yeah. Maybe not at yours down the road. Maybe it will be different.
Yeah. No, but you're exactly right. And vets love when you bring those insights in, because they don't have them.
Yeah.
That's an important something. We should say that again. Vets appreciate this information. I think some cat parents feel like, oh, I'm saying too much, or I'm interfering, or it's not. If you have photographs, I come in with my phone and photographs, and I have like bullet point notes.
Yeah.
And they are so grateful. The more information they have, the better, chance they have of making a diagnosis or catching something early, which is so
absolutely
important.
Yep. Take pictures of stool, of urine output, all of these things, videos of walking upstairs. It's all very useful, and they do really appreciate it, because it's the context of the visual has a lot more to it, and they're not able to capture that in the room. So
there's so many things I can say in the past like year or two that for me, having cat grass in my house has changed enrichment. Having the fresh catnip has been so good. Partially for me, I have a kitty who's going through cancer treatment, and he used to love going outside. And now I'm able to bring the outside in with, the peckerings with the fresh grass and the catnip, and I can feel safe in doing that. And then on the other side of things, I happen to have a litter robot that when Jonesy was going through cancer treatment, he only used that litter box. And it got me to thinking, I'm like, maybe it was because the chemotherapy changed his sense of smell, and that was always a clean box. But I was so grateful for the information it gave me. I knew when he was using the box, how often he was using the box. I had the ability then to check his stool, to check his urine output. Like, all of these tools that we have now and the new enrichment that we have.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah, it is incredible.
It's a good time to be a cat parent.
It sure is.
It is.
It's exciting.
So
we're no longer the crazy cat ladies.
That's right.
No, I always flip it and say I'm crazy for cats.
Yes.
Crazy for cats.
I'm showing you there.
So, Kristin, do you have any personal experiences that really made a difference for your cat? We're talking about these different things. Like, was there anything, whether it was enrichment or technology or anything, that you had an experience with?
Yes. Well, I'll start with these stairs that you can see one of them. So with my, seniors, which I have all seniors now, I've had them for years now, it's added, it gives them enrichment because they still really like to get in elevated places. Mm-hmm. And so having stairs and ramps, that's critical. They like to eat up high. So maintaining that, I think, has been I would highly recommend it if your cat is no longer able to jump or go up high.
Yeah, the stairs.
Yeah. I also am a big fan of music for cats. I use Pet Acoustic.
Me too.
Yeah, great company and founder. So it's developed with a calming backdrop, and I use it when I'm not at home or driving to the vet or whatever. So highly recommend that. Also, the herb garden. So I don't know if it's new for people. Essentially, cats, letting them do self-selection is pretty cool. So you can pick catnip, silvervine, catgrass, valerian. There's very safe herbs for cats, and you put pinches of them on a nice blanket or towel and just let them self-select and do whatever they want with it. So that actually offers calmness and stimulation. So I do that regularly with my cats.
One of our partners, Moon Mojo Feline, she sells herb gardens and them for different needs, whatever you think your cat needs. And we've done it here. And the self-selection, it's amazing. I have kitty blankets and put a little bit in each corner.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
They know, but they one goes to one corner because that's what he needs. One goes to another corner. So whether it's catnip or valerian or chamomile or lavender or.
Yep.
I love that you do this too.
Yeah, I look forward to it all the time. You can't do it too much, right? You got to make it special where it's not.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. Daily play cadence, big fan. We do 4 a day, every day. I have different toys I rotate so that sometimes they've got a snake, sometimes it's a little bird, so it's a little bit different. So it's important to mix that up and rotate. Mm-hmm. I also hide freeze-dried treats around the house, especially at night, so they can hunt and find and do what they do in the dark hours.
Not wake you up.
The grass, Kristin.
Yeah, that's great.
I hide the grass.
Yes, that's fantastic. I have to monitor my grass a little bit because I've got some that will eat the whole thing. But they love it. They can smell it when I put it on the ground. It's unbelievable. And something fun. We know that cats like boxes and squares. And so I have cut up yoga mats into squares, and I just place them around the house, and they go to the square. And it's become a thing where when it's a mealtime, they'll go to the square. And so we've created these little fun routines using that invisible box, that square. It's been pretty fun. So I
love that idea. My guys are always on my yoga mat, and and I don't want to discourage them, but my yoga mat's embarrassing. Thank goodness I only do yoga at home now, because I could never take that to a yoga studio and they love that texture. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that. And yeah, I'm a big litter box observer. So I know, because I do work from home and travel occasionally, but I know who does what, and I log it all. So I am kind of an old school with that, but I take pictures, but it's helpful because, if you're seeing tiny clumps, there's a problem. And if you're seeing massive clumps, there's a change. So there's information in the box. I would like to say the box is information. It's not gross. So that's
Mhm.
part of my daily
No,
and
we need to normalize that. It's not,
normalize it. Yes.
I mean, I think when I had, because my background's in cat behavior as well, when my behavior business, every day talking about cat poop and cat pee.
Yeah.
It's just,
a
it's
normal.
so important.
Yeah. So important. So those are some of the key ones, but it's, rituals that fit the cat. I mean, I have Chucky, my only boy cat, like he really will only eat until after he plays. So he's got to do the hunt
Yeah.
and then leave. Otherwise, he doesn't really want to eat. So we play and then he eats. And it really works well for him. And so I think it's understanding each cat as an individual again. And it changes, sometimes subtle changes over their life stage, and just adapt to that. So, but yeah, those are probably some of my top things.
Love it.
So
So you
interesting.
mentioned
Yeah.
before, and I would love for people to know more about, you are the vice chair of the Catalyst Council. So you get to see the bigger picture. So maybe you could tell people, for those who don't know what the Catalyst Council is, what it's about and what the top priorities are there, because it's really very interesting.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a fantastic organization. So Catalyst, so we're a national organization dedicated to accelerating innovation in feline care and then further enhancing quality of life for cats and their people. So it really is about the bond. Our vision is that all companion cats receive lifelong care. And so that's through using evidence-based resources, building community-wide relationships, and really overall celebrating the human-feline bond. And so we have different initiatives we bring on throughout the years. Our big focus right now is bringing data to the broader industry to show the feline opportunity and the care gap. And we are seeing significant growth in cat visits compared to dog, which presents a significant opportunity for cats getting care, but we have to figure out the barriers to care. And so how do we address those barriers? Catalyst Council, we're about to unleash the largest household survey that's ever been done to 40,000 houses, to understand really the minds of the cat caregiver and what their motivations are, and in seeking care and making other decisions about their cat, because adoptions continue to rise, number of cats per household continue to rise. Now it's 3+ cats is the growing number, and we got to get these cats care. And so the organization is really focused on driving innovation, understanding the barriers, and bringing insights to further drive more R&D for cats, elevating medicine for cats, all these great things. So that's essentially what we do. And we have lots of great partners within the broader veterinary industry to help us, move those initiatives forward.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's not, and I'm not, I think I'm an educated person who knows a lot about what's going on in the cat world. And I really didn't know much about Catalyst, about the council. And once, I met you, and then I started looking more into it. And all of these things are so exciting, and just more about how much we care about the cats, how much more information, how much we have to learn. It's just such an exciting time. I'm just so happy to be a part of now that this is all happening. I wish my mom was here to see it, because she was the cat lady. She would be so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, for sure.
Yeah, it really has. And it's like all of a sudden so much is happening with, like, the cats are finally getting the stage, and it feels like
Right.
It's
because we've done cat grass for almost 30 years now.
Amazing.
So
so
yeah, there's still a lot of education to be put out there.
There is.
So, but it seems like the momentum's going that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that shift in the relationship with the cat and cat parent, I think they're going to seek out, they're seeking more solutions and tools and how to bring better life to their cat. So I think
well, enrichment has become a regular word in cat parents' vocabulary. That's new in the past. I mean, I've been going to conventions for a while now, and I would be the one talking about enrichment. People, what's enrichment? What's enrichment? Now all cat parents are talking about enrichment.
Yeah.
Having these regular conversations.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty recent.
They're really, I mean, I was just at a convention, And at the table we had pet greens, grass. I'm telling you, people were coming from the other side when we heard, oh, you guys had cat grass. We heard about that. And they were coming all the way over to our table
That's
to get the
awesome.
grass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's remarkable to me that, people were so excited. So more and more people are talking about enrichment. More and more people are recognizing bringing the outside in. We've been talking a lot about grass and catnip, and I now know people who I've talked to after we talked about the catnip who are making catnip pots, like getting a bunch of the catnip and planting it in a bigger pot
Mhm.
to see what happens, because it's so much fun with just the one little catnip. You put them in a big pot together. It's a party. You have multiple cats. They're all nomming on it. And my favorite is when I get pictures, people send it to me, of their cats sleeping in the giant pot of catnip. They've just had a party in
It's like
there.
heaven, right?
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's so fun, and it's such a joy to be a part of this cat community now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
It really is.
Mhm.
So, Catherine, did you have any more questions?
I don't think so, Kristin. But thank you for being a part of Thrive Inside. We really appreciate you coming on board, and I'm even more amazed by all that you do, and all that how you care for cats and what's happening for them and what they need. I'm really really humbled by your journey and your experience and what you're doing right now.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's kind of like a dream come true to be able to, try to move things forward for the cats and connecting with the people that care so much. I mean, the cat parent, those that are, building cat products, driving innovation. I mean, it's becoming its own little ecosystem, and including, the rescue community in that. I think collaborating as a large ecosystem is like my goal, is to get everybody to collaborate together. And I think we all want to, but things are moving so fast. I think find the opportunities to do it.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed getting to know Sally, is that it's the community all wants the same thing. Right. And people are so passionate about it. I think the movement can be a lot faster than a lot of other things that may move slower. I think it could be a fast movement, a fast happening. Yeah.
Yep. So,
well, I personally am so inspired by you, Kristin. So thank you for all that you do for cats and for the cat community and cat parents. It really is. Getting to know you, and anytime I talk to you on the phone and we're talking about Mission Meow and talking about the cat community, I always get off the phone feeling like, okay, I'm ready. What else can I be doing?
Yeah, it's inspiring for sure.
I appreciate that.
Really so inspiring.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I'll say one last thing to all the listeners. So as cat parents, like, you are driving innovation. So I would encourage you to ask more questions, expect better options, keep demanding care that it truly respects the cat for it as its own species. And so that shift in expectation is really helping everything move forward for cats. So you matter.
Yes. Yay to cats. Huh?
Yay to cats. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for being a part of the Thrive Inside community. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode with your fellow cat enthusiasts. And we will be back soon with more ways to help your cats live healthy and happy lives and thrive inside.